Good morning. Good morning. There you are. Happy Friday to you. See, I always think that gets a better response usually when I say happy Friday, because usually I get, depending on who I'm talking to and I say happy Friday, I get some, oh yeah, but you are an excited group. Welcome to Grand Rapids Community College. Welcome to our Applied Technology Center right here in the heart of campus. You have been, I say, blessed with some of the food that has been prepared here. Part of our, you've seen some of our students walking around also serving, some of our students who are in our Secchi Institute for Culinary Education. I can assure you, not only is that the best culinary school in the world, in my opinion, it's true. But also, it's one of the best, in my opinion, because it's here at a college that celebrates the fact that it is the community's college. We have the community of Grand Rapids and West Michigan that is a vital part of this institution with so many as we service this part of the state. Our students usually, for the most part, over 80%, 85%, come from West Michigan and stay in West Michigan once they're done, whether they go to one of our great partners that are sitting over here or whether they go straight to the workforce. They stay in West Michigan, and we are proud of that. I will take an opportunity, because it always means a lot to me, to ask those who are a part of our GRCC family here, who are employees here at GRCC, please stand. I love to see you, love for you to be recognized. Our GRCC family. Many of those individuals that just stood are a part of GRCC's effort and partnership with To College Through College. It's an honor to be a part of this initiative because of how it reaches so many of our Grand Rapids Public School students, as well as a few other students from other parts of our city. GRCC in proximity as to the T2C studio makes good sense that we have that level of partnership as far as the geography is concerned, where we both exist. We're thrilled at the fact that we have folks like Chris Sane in the room and others in this room who work so closely with the studio and work so closely with rock stars like Shayla to make sure that our students, who are GRCC students in our case, are getting some of the best care in terms of their needs that may circle inside and outside the classroom. So we're thrilled to have this partnership as part of what we do here at GRCC. I want to now, aside from saying welcome to our college and welcome to this summit, I want to introduce to you one of the brightest parts of our work in Grand Rapids is our partnership with the city of Grand Rapids, and probably the brightest light to that, in addition to many other good people we work with at the city, is to have the privilege and honor to work with our mayor. And I want to introduce you to her this morning, the mayor of Grand Rapids, Mayor Rosalind Bliss.
Aren't we so lucky to have Dr. Pink in this city? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And thank you, Dr. Pink, for hosting us this morning on this beautiful campus. I'm absolutely delighted to be here, and I'm delighted to be here with all of the great partners that we have in this community who help make the To College Through College program available to so many students in our city. As a first-generation college student in my family, this is an important day for me personally, because I know how valuable these resources are, and I wish when I was 18 that I would have had a Shayla to turn to. Where is Shayla? There she is. So today's an important day. We come together to celebrate the many partners who truly, truly work together every single day to change the trajectory for students in our city, and to help students get the support they need, not to just get into college, but to graduate from college. So I would like to start this morning by inviting up our key partners. So those who are representing our colleges and university, we have presidents and provosts here today, as well as representatives from our Grand Rapids Public Library, K-Connect, and GRPS. If you all want to come on stage, we're going to have a ceremony here momentarily because I'm going to ask them to join me in a recommitment to supporting 2 College Through College, not just the work that's being done today, but really to take a deeper dive to make sure that we are capturing data to show the effectiveness of this incredible program. So what I'm going to ask them to do with me is to sign a community compact, and this is a compact committing to our community cooperation that is dedicated to the mission of increasing rates of college degree attainment for all persons, but particularly for first-generation college students, minority and other historically underrepresented populations, beginning with graduates from our very own Grand Rapids Public Schools. So our community, this is our commitment because we know that our community is better off when we all come together and when we work together to achieve better educational outcomes for young people who call Grand Rapids home. So I'm going to start this by signing it, and then I'm going to ask my partners up here to sign as well, and then I'll turn it over for them to say a few words. So many pens. Look how lovely this is. All right. There you go. We'll just go down the list. I didn't even read one.
If we could come together for one picture, just
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I'm like, why is there a missing one?
Okay, scooch on forward into the light. That'll be better. Nobody else
The
noticed.
taller guys get in the back more. You're pretty good. You're good. You're good. Yeah. Good. Front and the red, you're blocking the gentleman in the back a little bit. There you go. Yeah.
And now we'll turn this over to Dr. Gorman to say a few words, and then any of our other partners.
Good morning. Can everyone hear me okay? Yes. Wonderful. So I stuck my name tag sticker to my note, so it may just be a second. So good morning, everyone. My name is Ron Gorman. I am the interim superintendent for the Grand Rapids Public Schools. Before I begin, I would just like everyone to acknowledge the great work that is being done here by the Two College Through College team. So let's have a nice round of applause for the Two College Through College team. Lynn does tremendous work, really keeping a lot of this work together, so we're so appreciative of her. Of course, Dr. Tony Baker, who is one of our board members, who has done a tremendous job of getting all of this going. And then I think the over-under on shout-outs for Shayla Willis is about 15 today, right? So I am going to top everyone with my shout-out, right? In 1997, I was hired in the Grand Rapids Public Schools to take over a second grade classroom. Shayla, you're going to get sick of hearing this, but as long as I'm employed with GRPS, you're getting this, okay? I walked in to a classroom in 1997 at 24 years of age, and I took over a classroom that had numerous substitute teachers. And I went into that classroom and I looked around, and it did not take me long to realize who the smartest person was in that room. And that was a young Shayla Willis. Shayla Willis Young. I see your husband here. I will make sure I put the young on her name, sir. I will make sure I do that, okay? Shayla, you have done such a tremendous job in this role. And I'm so thankful that you and your team are serving your community and our community the way we are, right? So thank you, Shayla. Please give her some love, right? So let me tell you really quickly about why Two College Through College is so important. We are working tremendously hard to ensure that our curriculum is top-notch in the Grand Rapids Public Schools. We are working tremendously hard to ensure that students are well prepared for standardized tests. Even though many of us agree with them and some disagree, we know that we need high test scores in our schools to get into these fine institutions, so we are working tremendously hard to ensure they're prepared. We are also taking many college tours to provide exposure to our young men and women so that they can see their futures in higher education. But an area on which we continue to struggle is the handoff. Okay, we struggle with the handoff. And what I mean by that is, I grew up on the southwest side of this city. I attended Grand Rapids Community College, and that's right. And I was also unsuccessful here. And then I went to the military and I came back and then I was successful here, right? And then I left Grand Rapids Community College and I went to Aquinas College. And then I left Aquinas College and I went to Western, and I left Western and I went to Michigan State, and now I have a PhD, but I was at one time a college dropout, right? I was at one time a college dropout. And this is why this work is so important. This work is so important. We can't struggle with the handoff anymore. I came from a working class family where I would call my mother when I was short on cash, and $20 would come in a card, and that would get me through a week or two. Many of our students don't have that luxury. Shayla Willis called me this morning. He didn't call me this morning. Shayla Willis called me this summer and said, Mr. Gorman, and I love being called Mr. Gorman, right? I love it, because that's how I know you know me from back in the day, right? I love PhD on these documents. It looks really fancy, but I love being called Mr. Gorman. And Shayla called me and said, we have a student who went to Union High School who is $600 short. The student needs to get a physical before he can enroll in higher ed, and there are also some things that he just needs to take care of before he can take that trip to higher education. And I was able to pick up the phone because of my connections in the school district and make that happen really quickly. And all of these presidents and all these folks around the room, they can do the same thing as well. And that's why this is so important. To College Through College needs to stay here forever. Forever, right? So big shout out to all of our teams, Shayla, Lynn, Shannon, Dr. Baker, Chris, all the team that's all doing this tremendous work. Thank you so much.
At this time, if there are any college presidents or college representatives that would like to come up and share a few words about the significance of today in this partnership, come on, Dr. Eisler. Yeah.
As we were coming down this morning, I was reflecting on the first time we signed this document. And Rick, I know you were a part of that with me. And when we first signed this document, To College Through College was a hope and a dream. The idea that if we worked together, that we could make a difference for young people in this community. And this morning, it's more than a dream. It's a reality. This is an effort that works, that helps young people go to college and graduate for college. When I look around, many of the people that I know in this room also work with youth. We're grateful for your partnership with us in helping these students. But to me, it takes a village to raise a child. We're proud to be a part of that village with you. But thank you, Shayla, for the work that you and your people do.
Well, good morning. I'm Rick Pappas of Davenport. This looks nice, doesn't it? Ron, with all those institutions, you probably should have gone to Davenport. You would have had that success a lot faster. So we're excited to be part of this team as well, and every one of the organizations here is so fantastic, and again, wonderful job that you're doing. I didn't realize you had Ron as a teacher. Was he a good teacher?
He was an amazing teacher. Yeah.
We'll talk afterwards and see what you really think. But I'm so appreciative for us to be part of it. Some people don't know, Davenport, we graduate of our graduating class every year. Over 40% of our students are first generation students, and we also have 29% of our students are students of color. So this is an important that we have a strong connection with GRPS, and we can help in any way, as every other institution also indicates. So we're really proud to be part of this. So congratulations. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Mark Largent. I'm the Associate Provost for Undergraduate Education at Michigan State University, and I'm very, very proud to be here, very honored to be part of a collaboration that puts students first, that places a real value on getting students to college and through college. And that alignment is especially important to us. The work that we have tried to do in collaborations with both communities and other university partners, college and university partners, is focused on the notion that every single student we admit has the capacity to graduate. And I will be blunt and honest when I say to you that large universities like Michigan State University have not always had that. And in fact, many of them still don't have a notion that students come to college to graduate. They don't come to college to struggle and compete and leave without that degree. Every student we admit has the capacity to graduate, and we feel it's our responsibility to provide pathways for them to do that. The handoff that we've talked about is extraordinarily important. We looked at data this morning that showed where students from this community go to school. What wasn't evident in there, but I think is extraordinarily important for us to talk about, is they don't come from here and go to one of those. And as you heard, they go to many of those institutions. So the collaborative relationship between these universities is extraordinarily important for the students. If we compete, if we struggle and compete, rather than collaborate, the students will lose. The second issue that I want to make very clear to everyone in this room is something we all know. We have a radically different situation than our predecessors have had in terms of high school graduates. We are lucky to be in a state that is as rich with higher education as Michigan is. It is so very rich, in large part because it has had an extraordinary number of high school graduates from which to choose. As the numbers of those high school graduates drop, we have a not just once in a lifetime, but once ever opportunity to open access, persistence, and graduation to students who never had that access before. We have a wonderful opportunity provided by an overabundance of seats in higher education. And the foolish thing for us to do would be compete with one another in ways that close off those seats and close off that access to our students. We need to preserve the seats by recognizing the pathways necessary for students to get out of our high schools and into our colleges and universities and across our graduation stages. So efforts like this, the work that Shayla does, the work that all of you are doing is critical to that. I'm deeply appreciative of it. Thank you for letting us be part of this.
Good morning. My name is Kevin Quinn, and I have the honor of serving as the 8th president of Aquinas College right up the road here. And I'm fairly new here. This is my 3rd year, but I'm continually impressed by the way that Grand Rapids and West Michigan works together for the common good. And this is an example of that. This is an amazing array of institutions, very different types of institutions. And I want to echo your words that we're not trying to compete with each other. We're trying to do what's in the best interest of this community. And you know, I'm asked a lot by family and friends, you know, for advice on where to go to college. And my answer is that, you know, don't get hung up on you know, U.S. News and World Report ratings. There are hundreds and hundreds of great opportunities for you. Pick the one that's right for you. And if you can't find a home here, ask again, because there is every kind of wonderful institution that's represented here. And I'm proud to be a part of this consortium. Thank you.
Good morning. Happy Friday. I'll try it, right? My name is Jennifer Bott, and it's my honor to join you this morning as the Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs at Western Michigan University. And I had the opportunity to join Western just a little over a year ago. And part of why I did is represented by why we're all here this morning. It's community. There's something special about West Michigan that drew me and my family hundreds of miles away from where we used to live to be part of the country that realizes that cooperation is more important than competition, and that community is how we all survive and thrive. And this morning is a great example of that. Institutions who historically have rivalries and battled for students realize that completion matters more than where. It matters that you do. And so I am so, so grateful on behalf of President Edward Montgomery this morning to recommit to this partnership because attainment is for everyone, and to do so occurs through community represented by all of you this morning and represented by the efforts that keep all of our Grand Rapids Public School students enrolled in our institution. So this is truly our mission at Western Michigan University, and we are so, so very grateful to partner with all of you to make these dreams a reality. So thank you so much.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Yeah. Good morning, and greetings from Calvin University. My name is Todd, and I am a parent of a Grand Rapids Public School student, a parent of a Grand Rapids Public School student who's gone on to college, a member of one of these universities, and also a proud member of the TCTC leadership team. I'm up here this morning to introduce my friend, Senator Winnie Brinks, who, as many of you already know, was the first woman to represent Grand Rapids in the Michigan Senate since 1920. As the daughter of dairy farmers and Dutch immigrants, Senator Brinks learned the importance of hard work at a young age. Her mother raised 5 children and ran the family's farm after the death of her father. This set an example of resilience and determination that Brinks carries with her to this day. And I'm guessing that it also informed her world and academic success as a first-generation college student at Calvin University, where she graduated. Welcome, Senator Brinks.
Well, good morning. I should say happy Friday, because it seems like that's what we have to do. And then, of course, the obligatory thanks to Shayla. All of us are having a wonderful Friday morning. I have to tell you how refreshing it is after the week I've had to be here talking about cooperation and partnership. I'm very pleased to be here. Thank you, Todd, for that lovely introduction. And thank you to all of you here for giving me the opportunity to say a few words. Education has been a top concern of mine since long before I was approached to run for office and long before I started serving in the Capitol. In fact, some of you in this crowd were actually there with me fighting on the front lines for better education policies way before that. And I'm especially grateful that you've asked me to be here as you celebrate your success and the bright future of these partnerships. As you all know, the 2 College Through College initiative has the ability to open the doors of opportunity for students, and in turn for our universities and colleges, and of course, our communities. I've witnessed firsthand initiatives and programs like this can affect positive change. Before working in the Michigan legislature, I spent a good portion of my career working with individuals, families, and students to resolve barriers to success at work and in school. Whether those barriers are for students who are looking to go to school or to college or a trade school, or for parents who are looking for better opportunities to start their families, to support their families, or for individuals who wanted to further their credentials. What has become clear to me is the incredible value of having a support system that makes it possible for people to live up to their full potential, that demonstrates that we all believe in that potential and that we are willing to invest in that potential. Surrounding people with the supports they need when they need them can help them succeed in the face of intimidating and seemingly unsurmountable odds. It builds not just competence, but also confidence that leads to many future successes in life. Making sure students get to college and through college is obviously great for them and their families, but is also great for all of us. I'm proud to be here today supporting Grand Rapids Public Schools and the T2C studio and their mission to make this community a better place, one person at a time. I'm proud to be part of a community that understands that investing in young people and helping them develop the building blocks of success is not just something we do because we're supposed to do it, but we do it because we believe in people. We do it because we believe that opportunity shouldn't be a limited resource available to only those who already have it. Because ultimately, whether you're a parent, an executive director of a nonprofit, an elected official, a college administrator, a teacher, or anyone else invested in this effort, we all have one goal in mind: to equip a whole bunch of students and young people to go off and make the world a better place for themselves and their communities, for our communities, no matter the obstacles. They can do that because they know we have their back, and we will stick with them to achieve their goals. So today I want to tell you that I appreciate every single one of you for all that you do in this effort, and I want you to know that you have me as a partner as well, even though I'm not on the screen. Well, now I am. Okay, not that other screen with all the colleges. You have me as a partner and an ally to help as many students as possible to get to college and through college. Thank you.
University. I am a proud Latino male.
My name is Lluvia Pinella Quinones. I am a role model. I am Mexican American, and I am a first-generation college graduate.
I am Omar Gonzalez, Coordinator of Recruitment for Ferris State University. I am a proud Latino male. I am the son of immigrants, and I am an educator.
My name is Miaza Love. I go to Grand Rapids Community College. I am a student. I'm an in-home health aide, and I'm a businesswoman.
I am Fernando. I came from Central Innovation High School, and I attend GVSU. I am a son of a hardworking family. I am a Latino. I am a Laker Familia member, and I am a first-generation college student.
Hi, I am Sarah Mohammed. I currently attend Grand Rapids Community College. I am Assisted at 10. I am the inner city. I am the future, and I am the leadway to generational wealth.
Hello, I'm Chris Sane, Grand Rapids Community College, Coordinator of Retention and Early Alert. I am an educator. I am a father. I am a son. I am also a GRPS alumni. I come from a two-parent household. I grew up in the inner city, and I'm a first-generation college student.
All right, hello, my name is Halima Sufi. I am a student here at Grand Rapids Community College. I am a dreamer. I am a first-generation student, and I am the future of tomorrow.
My name is Shayla. I am the coordinator for the T2C Studio Grand Rapids Center for College Success. I am a Willis, I am a Young, and I am the student that I serve. So what the T2C Studio aims to accomplish with this work is to break down, minimize, and altogether remove the barriers that students are experiencing that would stop them from graduating from college, right? And so no one goes to college to just go to college. Students go to college to get degrees. But students, especially first-generation students of color, don't know what they don't know. And so our role here is to mitigate some of that and to be a space, a resource that students can come to get the what they don't know in a way that is comfortable for that student and where relationship is already being built.
So some of the unique things that we've accomplished at the studio is a myriad of things. Everything from the college boot camp to the summer mixers to the summit. One thing that was also a huge hit among students and everybody that's a part of T2C was our Care Package initiative, in which we supported all incoming GRPS students with everything that we could possibly think of to make sure that they know that they had people in their corner. We even have this booklet. It serves as a guide, a survival guide on how to get through college. And everything is in here that you can imagine that helps the student navigate, that helps students with their study skills, helps students know how to find the resources available to them on campus.
So essentially, our partners are committed in 3 different capacities, right? To financial contributions, to the data, and then also to the studio time part. And so that's the part I kind of want to zone in on, because I think that's critical that we're leveraging the expertise of our college representatives and our schools and our community in this one space. And so they come here and they contribute to a service delivery model, right? That is very unique, but student-centered, solely student-centered. And so students come in to this space and they can connect with Ferris State University about wanting to go to Michigan State. Or they can connect with Davenport University about applying to Davenport, but hey, I also want to go to Grand Valley. Can you help me with that? Can you help me with that process as well? And so what they're doing here is they're saying, hey, students, college is for you, whatever college that might be. And we're here to help. Davenport, Ferris, GRCC, Western, etc. There's 9 of them. We're here to make sure that you get to your destination successfully and that you complete at your destination as well.
The most rewarding thing about my college experience is not knowing what's next. It's always something. So I feel like holding on to that hope in becoming something way bigger than just yourself, I feel like that's the most rewarding thing.
My hopes and dreams is maybe someday I can open up my first law firm. So I plan on becoming an attorney.
My ultimate goal is to be CEO of a multinational corporation.
I guess my dream to finally at the end of college is to take care of my family the most, I want to say.
My dream in life is, I have a lot of dreams. I am a home health aide now, and I want to be a nurse. So I'm going to school to be a nurse. I want to travel. I want to study animals and be a scientist. I want to do a lot of things.
I never thought college, the way that I experienced college, was possible for me, right? And so I was blessed with the Gates Millennium Scholarship my senior year of high school. And that opened up so many doors for me, right? So many people were like, apply here, apply there, do this, do that. And to me, and when I think about my why, I want every student to have that same experience, right? I want every student to know that regardless of where you come from, what your family's background is, whether you're a first-generation student or not, whatever high school you go to, college is possible. College is possible for all of our students, and we have to give our students all of the options when we're telling them what can be for them beyond, high school, beyond high school graduation. So I get really passionate about this, obviously. But it's because I too was one of those students that just didn't feel like it was for them, or maybe I should stay close to home to support my family, etc. I've graduated from college. I'm currently getting my doctorate degree, but more importantly, both of my sisters have now graduated from college. So we have changed the trajectory of our family. No one in our family will be a first-generation college student because what we were able to accomplish.
Being a first-generation college student is very honoring to me because I get to set that example for my little brother. I didn't have that from my older siblings, so it was something that I want to do for myself and for my family.
The 2 College Through College initiative and the key players, really showcases the importance of partnership. This work would not be possible without all of the partnership and all of the people that we have on board. And so we have, the city of Grand Rapids Public Schools. You have all of the higher education institutions. We have 9 higher education partners currently. You have the businesses. You have community organizations, right? And then our community's children, Lynn Heemstra and Shannon L. Harris, have been, they convened this. They're critical in all of this work happening. And then also I have to thank, our chair, Dr. Tony Baker. He has definitely been more than a chair, he's a champion for this work. So him and Dr. Rayanne Booker have been critical in getting this off the ground and making sure the work is sustainable.
In the words of my girl, Shayla. That was good stuff.
That was good.
All right, well, I didn't expect tears this morning, but I think if you watch that, it's pretty remarkable, and it's pretty amazing to be a part of it. I've been fortunate to be a part of lots of great initiatives in this city, and this is by far the most impressive because of the community collaboration. President Eisler, when he was here earlier, said, so who are the people in this room? And I tried to explain to him who was in the room, but as I sat and thought about it, I was like, oh, these are the people that helped our students get through college. And so that's the people that's in this room. So anyway, I want to give a very brief history of, or try to be brief at least, history of the 2 College Through College initiative. And I can't remember the exact date, around 7 or 8 years ago, or as I said this morning, when my children were children, we began this conversation about how to move our support in the community to, for GRPS students onto the next level. And so there are several people that are part of this conversation. And I'm not supposed to say this because then I miss somebody, but the people that I believe that are in this room that helped start that early conversation, which was really around a National League of Cities grant that happened years ago. Len Heemstra, who you guys hopefully know. I want to give a shout out to Shannon. Shannon, probably a few of you few of you have probably heard her speak publicly before, but if you know her, you know that she's a significant part of raising children in this village, and so she definitely needs to be recognized for that work. Chris Cutzley, I see in the back, was in these early conversations, and there were others that were a part of trying to figure out, we're doing everything we can to get children birthed and early childhood and after-school programs and college readiness programs and math, but what are we doing once students graduate? And this handoff that has been mentioned before has been pretty significant. And so that was what we decided. Now, our early conversations, and I talk about this we kind of talked about this as a consumer. So we would be criticizing K-12 for not doing what they need to do, or we would be criticizing colleges for not doing what they're supposed to do. And that's just kind of like a consumer. We want these people, as customers, we want these people that we send our kids to do better, but we weren't doing anything, not once they graduated from high school. So we needed to be a part of this. And I think, as Senator Brink said, we needed to surround students with the support they need when they need it. And that is mostly not when they're supposed to be in class. And it's often at home in the evenings, in the middle of the night when they're stressed out and they have somebody to call. So we spent a lot of time exploring this problem, and I want to kind of show you the problem itself. You want to, actually go back to the next slide. I forget this. This is our mission, to get back to the point I said about being producers of our students' graduation, is that all of this mission, the vision, the goal is we see this as our work in the community. We don't see this as the colleges alone having to do this. So the central component of To College Through College is that this community will be a partner with higher education to see that the students succeed. And the reason why is because these are our children from this community, and we are the ones who have the consequences of whether or not the students succeed. This is our work, and we see it as our work and our responsibility to see that the students get through college. And that's a completely different shift. If you look at the literature and how to improve college graduation rates, it rarely mentions the community as someone who should step up. This is the problem we looked at previously. So this is 2011. This is the data that we initially looked at. The yellow represents students that start college and then leave college. And as you can tell, that number that figure starts to get pretty high, especially in the third year. The one on the right is the 2016 class, and the yellow on the third bar here is smaller. Now, we're not necessarily claiming responsibility for all of this data, because if you look at this data over time, it changes a lot. There's a lot that happens in society that impacts this. But we do know that a large number of students, and Shayla will talk about this later, a large number of these students are still in school. We know that because if you work at a university and you work with Shayla, everybody in this room that's done that has a list of 4 to 10 students that they've helped. Can you go to the next slide? These are the numbers of Grand Rapids Public School graduates, and I want to again thank Ron Gorman and his staff. If you see, one of the great numbers up here is the number of students graduating from high school. So GRPS has been drastically increasing this number, and that's from some great work that's happened in this district, and it's fantastic. Below that is the number of students that go from GRPS graduation straight to college in the fall, and that number changes quite a bit as we move on. Anyway, I want to go on to, can you just go to the next slides? This is just a quick list. As Mark from MSU stated, this doesn't really reflect completely what's happening, because students that go to GRCC end up at Ferris and Davenport and Grand Valley, et cetera. But these are the places that GRPS graduates go the fall after they graduate from high school. And so you see GRCC, Grand Valley, Michigan State, Western, University of Michigan, Ferris State, Aquinas, et cetera, going down the list. The colleges that you saw sign this document this morning represent about 85% of where students go to school. So you saw on the stage and in this room the major people that are responsible for our students succeeding in college. And the fact that they're all involved in this compact is really key. But what's missing from that document that was up there and the document that they signed was that really it's also Cook Library and WMCAT and the Urban League and all the other organizations that come to the table to help our students succeed. The library, that these are the people that are succeeding. This, if you work at a college, you probably saw about a year ago or earlier this year, there was an article about the college dropout crisis. There's other analysis that's put out. What's important about this analysis is that colleges haven't been doing enough, and that colleges need to think differently about what they need to do, creating a sense of community, a sense of belonging, doing what Senator Brinks talked about earlier is absolutely important. But what's missing from this analysis is the role of the community. So we have a lot more coming up. I think Shayla is coming up because she knows that I need to move on. You will get more information about this. You know, Shayla has been introduced so many times, but you know, it's really fantastic and that she's doing this. And we wouldn't be where we were at if we hadn't made a decision a few years ago to hire Shayla. So anyway, with that, I'm going to let her come up. Thanks.
All right, thank you, Tony. Good morning, everyone. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. So this is a celebration, right? People are signing on to their partnerships with the Two College Through College initiative. Students are in the room. We need to make some more noise. So good morning, everyone. Good morning. All right, thank you. I would be remiss if I didn't start off my part of the presentation by acknowledging all the people in the room that I get to interact with every single day to help them along their journey, and the people that have given us the in to their experiences, that have trusted us enough to share with us what's going on in their college journey. So can I have all the students in the room please stand at this time and be recognized, because all of this work is for you. So please stand up. Come on, Aaliyah. Get up, Aaliyah. Thank you. Thank you. All of this work is for you guys, and so we thank you so much for informing what we do every day. Thank you. So Tony mentioned that it's, well, the comment that was on the slide, retention is everybody's business. Chris Sane always says that in some of our meetings, and it is. And the way that community decided to be a part of the retention of our students was creating the T2C Studio Grand Rapids Center for College Success. And so I know I need to breeze through this, but I want to give you guys an insight to what happens on a daily here in the T2C studio. So some of the students might be like, oh my gosh, no, she didn't. Take my quotes and put them on the PowerPoint. But yeah, so our service goal is to serve 6 students a day in the T2C studio. We're at the Grand Rapids Public Library on the 3rd floor, and we have hours on Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 to 7 and Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to 5. And students can walk in during that time. They can set appointments through phone or through text. And then we also have a number of college representatives that work in this space during those hours too. So I see Omar, I see John. Thank you guys so much. And Katrina over there, thank you so much for all that you do in the studio. But this was 6 students over the course of Thursday from 10 to 5. 6 students. Why is it always something? Why is it always something? Why are there different components of the college process that are hidden to me? That I think that I'm 2 steps forward, and really there's one thing, one email, one interaction that knocks me 2 steps back. Why is it always something? You can find it on the website. Had a college representative tell me that when I was asking them about the financial aid appeal process. Well, you can find the process on the website. So if I'm getting that response, imagine what response our students are getting, especially sometimes when they don't have the right questions to ask. I live in my car right now, and we can't make this up, guys. I live in my car right now, and I'm okay living in my car, you know, if there's nowhere for me to be. No, Our students need their basic needs met. There are students that are walking around our campuses without those basic needs being met, and they're not telling anyone because it's our responsibility to extract that information, right? We can't think that students are just going to come willingly to our offices if they feel like they don't belong there in the first place. And then the direction versus guidance. I'm being directed to the website. I'm not being guided through the process. There's a difference. Someone should have taught us how to balance all of this. I had to wake up at 5 in the morning to do my group project because my group member read the wrong chapter. I didn't know that I was going to have to balance doing someone else's work, doing my own work, finding an internship, learning how to be professional. I didn't know that I was going to have to balance all of this. So if we're preparing students in high school for college, we have to continue to prepare them while they're in college because they're going to experience different things that they don't know they're going to experience. So we have to stay alongside of our students. Kim is kicking my butt. And this is a very intelligent young man. Kim is kicking my butt. But Kim isn't just kicking my butt. Going to the food court at my college is also kicking my butt because I have to pay for that food. And purchasing books at my college is also kicking my butt because I have to find the money to do just that. I am getting my butt kicked all up and down and around this campus. Where can I be still? Where can I belong? Where can I feel good on this campus? And then it's never what it seems to be. And the student had me just cracking up. And this was for me, because I wear a lot of makeup. Well, maybe not a lot. So he said, it's like dating a girl. You meet a girl, and then all of a sudden she takes off the makeup. And it's just never what it seems to be. So that was his way of putting it. And there are hidden components within this process, right? There are hidden components that our students don't know, that we know, and we might not know to tell our students unless they come to us with their challenges. But all in all, what we do know is that for first-generation college students, and even students who aren't, going to college and being prepared for everything that you will, what you'll interact with in college is almost nearly impossible to do. We have to be with them every step of the way. And so those are just some of the barriers that we see on a daily basis at the T2C studio. We have connected 1,700 students to our services through 4 different ways: outreach, studio visits, events and workshops, and our text messaging service. And the T2C studio has 4 unique components, I believe, that contribute to the success of the work. We provide student access. We're in a central and neutral location where John from Davenport can help a student apply for Michigan State University, or Omar from Ferris State University can help a student apply to Aquinas, right? And so this is a space where students don't feel the pressure to apply to one institution, but they just feel supported by all institutions that commit to our work. Leverage expertise. We don't do this work alone, as I mentioned, and so being able to leverage community, higher ed, all in one location benefits our students. It benefits our students in a way that they feel supported, not just as college students, but as human beings, as young adults in our community. A unique service delivery model. Every one of us loves to be greeted when we walk in the room, right? We want to be recognized that we are in this space. That needs to happen with every student interaction at the T2C studio, right? And so it's a member-to-member cultural axiology where we are making sure that we are connecting with and that we are greeting our students, making them feel appreciated, and they're knowing that that space is there. And also the uniqueness of the one-on-one supports. Students need to be able to talk about the latest gym shoe while they're completing their FAFSA. Right? They need to be able to talk to people who are culturally aware of things that are important to them while they complete this process to get through college. And then the case management style. And so we are very excited because we are transferring over our data to a platform, Salesforce, that allows us to create student profiles, allows us to communicate with our college partners about what's happening with students, how long is it taking us to address the barriers that students are experiencing, and all in all be able to have active students that we're following all the way to college degree. Some of our promising practices: studio time, being in the studio. I've mentioned that already. T2C studio tags. Uniquely, some of our colleges are adding tags to the students they interact with in the studio. So they can run reports on their end about what they're doing in the studio, which students, and they can track the process that student is traveling alongside. And then T2C specific strategies on and off campus. We're very excited to announce that just in the past month, 2 of our partners have done GRPS specific events on their campuses, where students are coming, they're receiving community care packages that the Student Wraparound Service Committee put together, and they're being presented with a FERPA release that they can sign off on, so that way T2C can talk with the university about their data. And moving forward, again, we're just moving towards a sophisticated data platform that's making it easier for us to track. And then we also are working on a retention effort that brings a student's community to their campus. A student's community where that student already feels safe, and bringing it onto the campus to carry along that relationship. And so that is all I have for you about the work of the T2C Studio. We will be offering complimentary tours at the end of it, student-led tours at the end of this, so you can come and see the T2C Studio for yourself. So thank you, guys.
Thank you, Shayla. She's a student as well, getting her PhD, and she's doing that as well as running the studio. So yay to Shayla for all that she's done, and to Shannon Harris, who helps organize everything that we do. Yay, Shannon. And Dr. Tony Baker, I have to thank you for your leadership of the 2 College Through College initiative, and your unwavering support and your creativity. We really appreciate all you do, so thank you. I'm Lynn Heemstra from Our Community's Children, and our office facilitates a range of services for children and youth in the city of Grand Rapids. Post-secondary success is one of those initiatives, and our office certainly can do its work only with partnerships that are in the community, and so this partnership is critically important. We're celebrating those partnerships today. One of those partners who've been by the office throughout its existence has been the National League of Cities. So it truly is my honor and privilege to introduce to you the keynote speaker today, Audrey Hutchinson. She has been a constant support of my office and has provided critical tools and resources to help us do the work that we do each and every day, and to further create opportunities for children in our city. She is the Director of Education and Expanded Learning for the Institute of Youth Education and Families with the National League of Cities. She is, in this capacity, she directs several initiatives to assist mayors, council members, and other city officials in using their leadership roles to improve the quality of education in urban settings. Prior to joining NLC, she served in the Clinton administration for 8 years, where she held several senior positions at the White House and the U.S. Department of Education. At the White House, she served as Chief of Staff for President Clinton's Initiative on Race. She has also held several positions at the City University of New York, and spent the preceding years as a special assistant and policy analyst for the president of the New York City Council. She's the author of several publications. She is a true treasure, an asset to many cities across the country, and especially for Grand Rapids. Audrey Hutchinson, it's a pleasure to have you here. Come on up.
I really didn't plan this outfit with my photograph. I'm wearing the same necklace, the same color. All coincidental. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's really hard to follow Shayla. Shayla. I met Shayla for the first time this morning, and I'm so very impressed with the work that you have been doing. I want to say, because there are so many college folks here, that I am proud of the work I've done at the City University of New York. one at Borough of Manhattan Community College and also at City College. So this is a very, very comfortable space for me. So first of all, thank you so much for inviting me to the great city of Grand Rapids. This is my third time coming here and to be part of your fourth annual To College Through College Summit. So I commend you for the bold steps you have taken over the years to improve educational outcomes for children, youth, and families. Your compact, and I was so happy to witness the signing of that this morning, is an example of what a city can achieve when the table is set for multiple stakeholders to come together to achieve the city's, what I call, cradle to career agenda. I know full well Grand Rapids' commitment to the education continuum, starting early childhood, K through 12, post-secondary, after school, and summer learning, because your city is one of the first cities I've had the good fortune of working with when I joined the National League of Cities Institute for Youth Education and Families. That was 19 years ago, believe it or not, and to launch our, what we call our municipal leadership in education work. So I have to give a shout out to Lynn Heemstra because I think she's one of your local treasures here. She's always looking out and seeking out new resources for the city of Grand Rapids, and she's always highlighting and showcasing the best practices, some of which I have witnessed and heard so much about. In addition to that, Shannon, where's Shannon? I heard her, I understand she's here, but I haven't seen her. Where are you, Shannon? Hi, Shannon, good to see you. Shannon has been involved with our work as well, so I'm really happy to be back. I also want to take a minute to shout out Mayor Bliss. I really have appreciated her leadership to bring, that's our leadership in bringing together partners at the table to promote post-secondary and workforce success. In addition to that, your efforts around early childhood, after school and summer learning, and also connecting children to nature more equitably. So your success in all of these areas have been, the way you have been doing it is you have been leveraging public-private partnerships to create the positive outcomes for children, youth, and families in your cities. So I was asked by Lynn to share with you the national post-secondary landscape, the role of partnerships in advancing post-secondary and workforce agenda in cities, and strategies cities are utilizing to make lasting positive change. So let me start by giving you a little bit of background about NLC. How many people know about the National League of Cities? Okay, all right, I'll do the 30-second version. So the National League of Cities is a very old organization. It was launched in 1924, and 4 years from now, we will be 100 years old. So we've been around for a long time ago. So we serve as a resource and advocate for more than 19,000 cities, towns across the country, and with a reach of about 218 million Americans. So we're devoted to strengthening and promoting cities as centers of opportunity, leadership, and governance. In addition to that, we work hand in hand with our 49 state municipal leagues, and the state of Michigan has a state municipal league to promote what matters to cities across the country. So, you know, you name it, whether it's energy, sustainability, housing, infrastructure, we do all of that. We also have a very strong research arm within the National League of Cities. So I am fortunate to be working in our newest entity, and that's how I've met Lynn Heemstra over these many years. It's our Institute for Youth Education and Families. This is the brainchild of Boston's mayor, former mayor, Tom Menino, who had a vision to create a go-to place where locally elected officials could receive practical advice, share promising practices on issues affecting children, youth, and families. Mayor Menino was very intentional to include education as one of the pillars in the title of our Institute for Youth Education and Families. So our institute has, over the years, we're 20 years old next year, have focused on a range of issues: early childhood, health and wellness, family economic success, juvenile justice reform, children and nature, as I mentioned before, and education and expanded learning, which is the work, that's my portfolio, the portfolio that I lead at the National League of Cities. And that's a big portfolio, working with city leaders around K through 12 issues, post-secondary and workforce success, after school and summer learning. So for nearly 2 decades, we have worked intensively with mayors and other local elected officials, along with their community partners, many of you are here, to develop vision, goals, and action plans around what matters in your city. So what I've learned over the time is that mayors are committed to this work because they understand that in order for city residents to have meaningful employment with livable wages, they must be equipped with the necessary skills beyond high school. We heard a lot of that this morning from our leaders. A high school diploma is no longer sufficient in today's marketplace, and I feel like I'm preaching to the choir here. And then some people might say, why are mayors meddling in the education space when they don't have control over schools, public schools, or colleges and universities for that matter? However, we do this work at NLC to support local leaders because we learn from our research. Every year we do research, a publication called State of the City Report. And the most recent ones, and the ones over the years, have cited that education is among the top 10 issues mayors across the country care about. So last year's report showed that over 20% of city speeches included significant coverage of education issues in their state of city speeches. So city leaders, from our perspective, know that a city's economic vitality, quality of life, and well-being rest on having a skilled workforce. We do this work by utilizing, and this was demonstrated here, a multi-sector partnership approach. We also do this by using data. Shayla talked a lot about data to drive effective strategies and ultimately change. And also we do this to ensure that equity is front and center in our work. We want to ensure that residents, especially those from low-income communities, racial and ethnic minorities, and other disadvantaged populations benefit from economic growth and development in cities. We have learned in working with cities on their education agenda that growing the economy and having an equity agenda are not in competition with one another, but are essential components of any city that aspires to thrive in the modern global economy. So let me share with you what I have been seeing across the country as mayors intentionally work in partnership with their K through 12 leaders, their colleges and universities, their business community, to impact local policy practice and innovation. The data tells us that many cities across the nation still have problems, and that's why we continue to do this work at NLC. Some of the problems you already know, the persistent dropout rate and low college completion rates in many communities, and all, of course, they impede cities' ability to grow and thrive. Some data I looked at recently showed that 30 to 40% of high school students do not finish on time, and many enter the ranks of the underemployed and the unemployed. And even though a greater number of students from diverse backgrounds and income levels are enrolling in college, the completion rates don't look good. And that's why I really applaud the work that you're doing to remove barriers so that more young people can graduate or from college, whether it's with a certificate, some credential, certificate, or degrees. And when it comes to the skills that are in demand for the future workforce, another data point I saw recently, 92% of business executives believe that Americans do not have the skills they need to do the jobs of today or tomorrow. So this leads to businesses spending, the number I saw was $164 billion a year to retrain workers to improve their skills. And some of those skills that were cited in this study I read was teamwork, critical thinking, problem solving, and communication. And some people call them soft skills. I call them essential skills. This is how we know that city leadership can play a critical role by bringing together school districts, local colleges and universities, businesses and industries, state partners as well, to align policies and programs that help residents achieve success. So the National League of Cities goal, excuse me, I'm gonna drink some water, in working with local elected officials around their city's education agenda, and in particular, our body of work around post-secondary and workforce success, is to do a couple things. One, to ensure that all students graduate prepared for college and the workforce. Two, expand access to and boost completion of post-secondary education and training, which you are doing now. Create stronger partnerships between City Hall, school district leaders, and others to improve public schools. And also to focus, to use a multi-generational approach to ensure young people and their families have equitable opportunities to improve their lives. So let me share with you what cities have achieved in our recent work. I've been doing this work for 19 years. The last year and a half, the last decade and a half, we've been focusing on the post-secondary agenda. Again, I mentioned we've used the multi-sector partnerships. We have partnered with LinkedIn to provide tailored data in the cities we work in, so that the skills that students are getting is aligned with workforce needs, which means that the post-secondary institutions are at the table. I also mentioned equity. We have worked with Policy Links to make sure that the underserved populations are addressed in cities, in the work that we do in cities. So let me share with you just some examples of where we have seen some traction. And Grand Rapids, you're doing really well, I have to say. You're one of the leaders in this work. So recently, I just completed a body of work with 6 communities across the country in Corpus Christi, using, again, the multi-sector partnerships. I know you're celebrating partnerships today, using data to drive change, and also having an equity lens. Those are the 3 pillars, the way we do our work in cities. So in the city of Corpus Christi, for example, for the very first time, because all those partners came to the table, they were able to develop a citywide education strategic plan led by the mayor and partners there, focusing on a K through 16 pipeline. And I don't have enough time to go into details, so I'm happy to talk with any of you about the details of any of these cities. In Austin, Texas, we have seen where the community has galvanized itself and have increased their FAFSA completion rate significantly, and also really working with their community colleges to up the skills of over 30,000 underemployed residents so that they could take advantage of middle skills job. Houston, that mayor has used the whole summer youth employment, getting young people engaged, but working closely with their colleges and universities so that those young people can go on and pursue their post-secondary degree. And in the city of Nashville, for example, they have focused on their promise zones in partnership with their higher education institutions, their school districts, their nonprofit labor leaders are raising money to cover the cost of tuition and other student support services. So in addition to that, many of them have also are establishing free college programs. So currently, across the country, there are about 300 college promise programs in cities located in 44 states. So that's a movement that's growing to help remove barriers, and all of this is being done in partnership. So in closing, I know you've heard from a lot of people today. I want to take this opportunity to applaud the work that is being done here in Grand Rapids, and I really look forward to continuing the work that you do in whatever way, whether it's the work with Lynn and her team in identifying resources that we can bring to bear in the city of Grand Rapids, and also use the work that you're doing here as best practice as we continue to work with other communities across the country. I have one quote for you and then I'm done. So I want to leave you with this one quote that I found as I was preparing these remarks. And it says, and I don't know who it's attributed to, but it says that the best collaboration creates something bigger than the sum of what, and it says each person, but I changed it to say bigger than the sum of what each institution can create on their own. Your city has demonstrated what is possible when partners come together. So I really am honored and privileged, and I want to thank you for inviting me to be part of your success. And I'm so happy to see how you have been innovative in increasing post-secondary attainment for the residents of Grand Rapids. So thank you very much.
At this time, I'm going to ask Student Wraparound Services to come and help me out with getting some chairs on the stage for our primetime guests. But before I do that, Audrey, can we just give Audrey another round of applause, please? We thank you for joining us here in Grand Rapids. We really, truly appreciate you being here. At this time, I'm going to call up our students that are here for the student panel discussion. So if you are here for the student panel discussion, students, can you please come up to the stage? All right, and earlier you saw a video showcasing some of the I ams from some of the students that we serve. And I just have to thank Serena here, who has the camera in her hand. I have to thank Serena for putting that together, for filming with us for like, what, a whole week, and just getting that done. So let's thank Serena for her work. We appreciate it. All right, so I'm going to come over there and chat with you guys, right? Because we're just going to have a conversation, and everybody's just going to kind of look at us while we do. So I'll be over here. All right. All right, so some of you may be familiar with Phil Donahue. Anybody gonna age themselves? Okay, so Phil Donahue. So Phil Donahue was known as a talk show host to tackle some hot button social issues. And so we're gonna tackle some hot button issues in higher education, kind of like Phil. So I'm Phil. I look a little different, but I'm Phil in this moment, okay? All right, so before we get started with Phil, I gotta do my foot like Phil. I want you all to go around, starting with you, Avion. Can you just go around and introduce yourselves and talk about how you got connected to T2C Studio Services, just briefly. So name, where you're currently at, what year you are, what you're studying, and how you got connected to T2C.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Good morning, and thank you for having me. My name is Avion Silas, and I'm a fourth-year student at Grand Valley State University. I'm studying public and nonprofit administration. And how I got started with the studio is I actually graduated from Innovation Central class of 2016. And we remember going through sort of all of the motions to get ready to travel on to college, and one day we had a meeting in the auditorium, and Shayla was there smiling, and so I was able to have a chance to meet with her and just to explain to her my situation and some of the challenges I had. She was able to right away sit down with me, and we were able to contact higher-ups at Grand Valley and really develop some partnerships that I still have to this day.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Cindy. I'm a student at Michigan State University. I graduated from City High Middle School, and I was first introduced to the T2C Studio through Our Community's Children. So I was part of the LEAD program. I was actually at the Cook Library Center when Miss Sue was like, I need you to join this program. And so I did. And then from there, I got this internship at OCC, and I was able to intern at the T2C studio as well and help students like get organized with their college applications and filling out FAFSA applications too.
Good morning. My name is Ashton Duncan, and I graduated from City High School, and I go to GRCC right now. I'm in my second year there, and I'm studying business, and I plan to transfer to Grand Valley. I got introduced to the T2C studio through Our Community's Children as well. I did the lead program there, and I met Shayla. She came in and did it, she presented about the T2C studio. And then when I started my second year at GRCC, I was able to go up to the studio a couple times and get some help. And now I'm receiving help with being able to transfer to Grand Valley. So.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Halima Sufi. I attend Grand Rapids Community College, and this is my second year. I'm actually double majoring, so criminology and psychology. And fall of 2020, I plan on transferring to MSU. Thank you. And then I was introduced to the T2C studio by a friend. Her name is Isira, and unfortunately, she's not here right now. It was one day when we were behind on FAFSA, and she's like, bro, we're behind, we have to get our stuff together, and and we were freaking out. So she's like, I know this place, and let's just go get help from there. And ever since then, I've been going to the studio to study and just recuperate.
All right, thank you guys. And so if you could pass that mic back down to Avion. Did you hear all the partnership in those stories? Okay, all right. So, Avion, this question is for you. College is not for everyone, and it may not be for you. What does that phrase mean to you?
So I'm a pretty analytical person, so I'll start just by picking it apart. So I want to start by, agreeing with the fact that college isn't for everyone. And I had to struggle with the fact that college may have not been for me. And it wasn't until my sophomore year when I took my first intro to urban and regional planning class that I could start to understand the difference between just merely being in college and actually getting an education and what that would require of me as a student. And so the professor for that class, his name was Chad Frederick, and I remember him telling us, coming in, this is my first class, I don't know what I'm doing, just like you guys. And so for me, I felt a lot more comfortable with him just knowing that his success was also bound on mine. And so he shared with me a quote that I still use to this day. It comes from Lila Watson. And she says, if you come here to help me, then you're wasting your time. But if your liberation is bound upon mine, then let's work together. Mm-hmm. And right after hearing that, I remember going into his office and really wanting to explain to him how impactful that had been on me and my outlook toward education. Mm-hmm. And from that moment, I started to see a transformation personally for me. As an age out of the foster care system, going into college, I didn't really understand everything that I would need to do or the opportunities that would be presented to me. Once I started to talk with people like Shayla and professors and really start to develop that support network, I started to really take ownership and feel entitled to education. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's the difference between college being for you and not being for you. Mm-hmm. I also want to leave a message that there's multiple education lanes that you can follow outside of college. I actually sort of met a number of you guys in this room outside of college. Dr. Bill Pink, I actually met him at church. He just came to my church one day and spoke. And so it is really inspiring when we can connect with you guys on a community-based level. And on a professional level, I think it motivates me to want to join this fight with you guys and really focus on having an education that allows me to solve the problem with a relevant solution. Outside of my degree in public and nonprofit, I've been urged to get into data, learn how to code with computer software so that I can be able to compete on a professional level. I have also gotten into budgeting and finance administration because I know in a lot of nonprofit organization, it all comes down to money. So putting myself in a position where I can make these hard positions, but also offer a relevant perspective has made college for me.
So as our students are giving testimony, if you're like really feeling something that they're saying, because I was really resonating with what Avion was saying, you can give them some snaps or some claps or something, or a yes or something like that, right? Because it's hard to get up here on this stage. It's hard to get up here on this stage. Avion, I thank you for that answer, for bringing it full circle, right? Because you talk about not just college, but the power of education and the power of community and education within your community too, because there's so many things that you have to learn outside of the classroom to be successful. So thank you for that. All right, back to Phil. Cindy, this one's for you. To get a college degree, you must pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You have to have grit. What do you think about that?
Well, I personally think that part of this statement is true, but not necessarily true for everyone. I feel that you do need to have grit and like courage to get a college degree, but you necessarily don't have to pull yourself up by yourself. So, for example, me, let's go back to high school. I wouldn't have able to put myself together if it wasn't for Miss Sue, because I really struggled back in high school. I was at City, it was stressful. She was there for me. I am a first-generation student. I applied for FAFSA on my own. My mother is an immigrant. She's unaware of like education here, how to apply for FAFSA and all of that. And I feel like I've been doing most of this statement for like high school and even through college. I feel like I've been doing everything on my own, and I feel like I'm alone in this, and it's just my responsibility to get a college degree. And I feel that it's not necessarily true because there's a community out there, like the T2C Studio, OCC, the Cook Library Center. Even at MSU, there's the trio and everything that can help you get yourself together and have grit and get through college.
Yes, that's all right. Thank you, Cindy. Yeah. So it's not just up to you, right? Because there's a community that you said that's out there and a community that you're going to contribute to, right? And so it's part of our responsibility to make sure that you make it all the way through this journey despite whatever may arise. Yeah? Okay, all right, Cindy, thank you. All right, this question is for Halima and Ashton because you guys go to the communities college. You go to GRCC and you're planning to transfer next fall. So it's up to you and only you to make sure you get through college. Either you have it or you don't. Is this true?
So I only agree with a part of this statement. So I think that the initial decision is yours to go to college. I think that you grow up, like I've had, both of my parents are always like, we didn't go, but you're going. But I know at the end of the day, and actually it did motivate me because it made me all throughout my life think about like, oh, what's this thing called college that I have to go to? And once I got to, like, throughout school, my school years, and then once I got to high school, I was like, okay, like, I'm learning more about it. Seems like a place I want to go. I've always been into my education and been very passionate about learning. And so I made the decision that, yes, I was going to go to college. But I did notice when it comes to decision making, especially making a decision to go to college, it's easier to make a decision and stick with it when you know you have support. So knowing I had the support of people around me and knowing that I had my parents' support and knowing that I had like the community support and the T2C Studio support made it easier for me to start college and be willing to stick it through. And either you have it or you don't. That's the part I'm like, because even though I'm in college and I plan to stay, I've had a lot of ups and I've had a lot of downs, just like with any journey. And I think that I've been on several journeys throughout my life where you might reach low lows and then you might reach some peaks. But I think the goal is just to stay on it. And again, just having the support of the community, having other people around who are willing to help you, having other students that you can lean on and people your age, just friends that you can talk to will help you stick it through.
All right, so I think this is sort of like a broad question when I look at this statement. So she starts off by saying, it's up to you and only you. And I believe that is true. You know, it's only up to me to get through college. Like, I've always grew like in the inner city, and I've never really had any support when it came to like academics. You know, I never had anyone pat me on the back and say, you know, you're doing good job for receiving that A. And after transitioning from high school to college, like, I did realize that it's only up to me and only me to get through college. Like, I had to utilize the resources that was available to me, such as the writing center, the math lab, and et cetera. So when she asked me this question, I'm like, yeah, it is only up to me, because I'm the only one, I'm only doing it for myself, and I'm doing it for my siblings. I grew up with 8 siblings, so it's like, I want to set a role model for them. I want them to know that, you know, you can get through college, you know, people of color are there, you know, like, there's still hope in the world. So, yeah.
All right. Yeah, so I like how you guys pointed out that I'm doing this and I have to go through this, but I'm doing this for so many others, right? And so though you may feel alone in this process sometimes, you're not alone, right? You're not alone. There are resources for you. There are people here in this room and outside of this room to support you through your journey, because at the end of the day, you're going to contribute something beautiful to this community, right? So we're grateful and we're thankful that you guys are persisting and continuing on. And so with the community being in this room, there's something that they need to know, right? And they need to know, what can they do to help you get through your college degree? What can your community do to help you get through to your college degree? So we're going to start with Ashton.
So I'll just tell a little story. So I graduated from City High School, and back when I was there, I don't know if it still is, but I know it still has like a high rank, and people looked up to it. And I would love to tell people I graduated from City, just like, oh, you went there? Like, it was just like, yeah, I went there. But, you know, so it was nice to get that, like, yeah, you go to a school that's known for its academics, and, oh, is it really hard? And it's like, yeah, it's really hard. And but people didn't necessarily always see, like, there's a lot of stress that goes into not only high school, but college. And I will say that going to a more difficult school made it more of a challenge. The reason I went is because I needed a challenge. Every school I went to before that school was too easy for me. So I never learned how to study because I never had to. I never learned how I learned best because everything was just coming so easy to me. And so getting to City, it was hard keeping those grades up, and it was a little difficult when it came to like standardized tests and things like that. And so graduating from there, I know that as I went through my senior year and applied to all these different colleges and got accepted to them, yes, like, I thought I was going to every college in the book. I got accepted to Ferris. I thought I was going to Ferris. And then I got accepted to Michigan State. I'm like, well, that's where I'm going. And then I got accepted to Wayne State, and I thought I was going there. And then it was the summer right before I started my first year of college, and I'm like, I have no money in my account right now. And it's just like, yeah, I went to this hard school that was meant to be challenging for me, and I struggled a little bit more with my grades and thought that, oh, well, everyone looked up to me for going to this tough school, and I had all these ideas of where I would want to go, but without the resources, the funds to be able to get there, it almost makes you look back and wonder, like, was all the stress of going to City really worth it if I didn't get, even though I love GRCC, let me give it up for GRCC. Like, if it wasn't for GRCC, I probably wouldn't be in school, but I'm just saying that knowing that I went through so much in high school because I needed the challenge, but going through it, it makes me look back and just wish that I could have made more time for scholarships. I think that's often where we get left off. Yes, we get helped with the academics, but it seems like they made sure we applied to colleges, but they didn't make sure I applied to scholarships. And so I feel like just getting that, just as much support applying to scholarships and just as much push for that and helping us find where they are and find those resources. We need just as much of that with scholarships as we do with just applying to the schools. So.
I was asked this question before, and I remember I replied, money, financial aid. But now that I do have financial aid, I'm thankful of having the Spartan Advantage, which means if you make below the poverty line, they pay for like your 5 years of college. So I have that. So what do I need to get my college degree? Right now, I am commuting from Grand Rapids to East Lansing Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And I know that my first and second year, I didn't take advantage of going to like network fairs or internships and everything like that. And so now that I'm commuting to and back, I feel like I'm just going to college to get a college degree, just to get it. But I want to make that college degree more valuable, and I don't know if I have the time, because I have to come home as an older sister, take care of my family, and now that I have my own family, how do I make time for that? So I need help with becoming more professional, adding more value to my college degree, so I just don't get it. I need to prepare for the real world. How do I get internships? How do I get involved in my community or in my MSU community? That's what I need help and guidance for.
So I think this is a great question. I think earlier on this week, I had an interview at a law firm, and it was like so many exams coming in at once. It's like a math exam, a philosophy exam, and then like child psychology, like so many things going in at once, and I had to reschedule that interview. The reason why is because I think, you know, going back to what Ashton said, you know, they help you with academics, like how to succeed in academics, but they don't really help us how to balance our lives, you know, from work to student organizations, they don't, and then just like applying for things. So my question is like because in high school, they had this support system, they had mentors and things like that. And my question for you guys is, where's the continued support? You know, so like we had so many resources in high school. There was free parking, free food, but once we get to college, we don't have any of that. We have to worry about working extra shifts just to pay that parking ticket off. Or, you know, like some of us park across from Sneeden Hall, and it's just like, where am I getting this money from? You guys expect so much from me, from books to food. It's like I don't know. So I think I just want to leave that remark on you, like, where's the continued support?
Yeah, just to follow up on that, I definitely agree with that. I was fortunate enough to, when I first started at Grand Valley, to actually be placed in the financial aid office as a student worker. And I don't know if Shayla will remember just really me trying to sell myself to that next level and really figure out what I would have to do to be in a good position. The first thing that I did in that position was start to counsel exiting seniors on how to pay back their loans, how to apply for scholarships. And so every day right in front of me was this notion that, hey, you need to try and focus on paying for this, because I knew what the end result was going to look like. And so in my freshman year, I filled out about 65 scholarship applications, and I was fortunate enough to actually obtain a full ride to Grand Valley. And one of the things that I want to leave with you guys today is, first off, just thanking you for your support and understanding that it is really important that we have you here. Because for someone like me, I'm not calling home to get that, you know, maybe you should study harder, or that support that says, hey, maybe you're going a little bit too hard and maybe you should slow down and focus on yourself. And so having a community around you is really important. When I actually came to Grand Rapids, I remember just really being at a low and not knowing what the next step was going to be, and experiencing just the relief of when a community picks you up and lets you know that you're one of theirs and that they're going to support you. And so my senior year, I 4-pointed. And for me, I just did not believe that was possible. And so I'm a living example of how something really small can really change someone's life. And so to bring the question back around to what you guys can do. So as a person going into the professional world, I'm struggling with trying to figure out, am I going to be able to get the resources that I need to take care of myself in a nonprofit? I know a lot of people say, hey, if you go in the nonprofit world, you might not, you know, make enough money. How can we start to narrow that gap? How can we start to, as professionals who are already in the field, understand that half the connections that we make are going to be on people coming out of college? How can we start to grow those talents? Because the nonprofits I'm at right now, I'm more a consultant than an employee, which is great, but I would love a little bit more direction. And so I challenge each of you to make a connection with someone who's currently in school and watch that progress of that person first not knowing that they can do it, and you watching them grow and be an ally in your fight. And so as community members, I think you can help us a lot, but as you see now, we also all have a lot to offer.
All right, thank you. Let's give it up for the most important people in the room, the students. Oh, we can do a little better than that. Come on now. Thank you. Thank you all so much for your testimonies, for your time, because I know that time is valuable for all of us, but really for you guys. Thank you so much for your openness. We really appreciate it. So thank you guys. All right. All right. So now I'm going to hand it over to Sue and Jessica to do our community conversation.
Let's give it up one more time for these amazing students, huh? Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and good morning. My name is Sue Garza. I'm the director of the Cook Library Center, proud GRPS parent, proud graduate. I have a graduate at MSU who's a junior, and volunteer and team cheerleader for Grand Rapids Public Schools. And also, I am the vice chair of the 2 College Through College initiative, and I'm really proud to be amongst the great students and the helpers that come together for collectively moving the needle of success for our students. So we have heard from college presidents, a superintendent, a state senator, national advocacy group, students, and now we want to hear from you, but we're running out of time. So here's what we're going to do. You know that moving the needle of success takes a village to get students to and through college. Simply put, these are the facts. But we as an initiative know that breaking the barriers to degree attainment has really good strategies. We have strategies from the T2C studio, but we don't know everything. So this is where we need your help. So you have a piece of paper at your table, and if you can't find it, use the back of your agenda and write down facts while you're listening to the spoken word. So the question is, on innovative strategies for success. For the next 3 minutes or so while we're listening to the spoken word, whatever moves you for thoughts of how you can help move the needle of success for our students with conjunction and cooperation with the T2C studio, write it down. Even if it seems crazy. Kids love food, write it down. Kids need a place. If you are an advocate and you know where the best places to go to eat that offer like free meals on your birthday, write it down. We can add that and share it with our students. Anything you can think of. So as you do that, keep your notes, and we're going to collect those. So please don't take those with you, because we will report out on them, and we'll find out soon in our results. Okay?
All right, so get ready for a treat. Can I have snaps to welcome Seyron and Onesimus to the stage? Woo! Both are T2C Studio clients and GRCC students. They will both grace us with an original spoken word piece.
What is college? You see, I don't really think college is for me. I mean, in high school, I didn't really get A's and B's. I tried my hardest just to get that below average C. And now you're telling me that I should get a college degree? I don't even have the drive to do it, nor the keys. What is college?
You see, college to me is a necessity that exposes us to a great opportunity. Getting that college degree will help me speak for the voice to guide my community. College,
you say. Is it really possible, or do you expect me to take the quick way, with less obstacles, a trade for a trade? Nevertheless to say, my family has never really paved the way, so if I went to college today, who's gonna help me along that way?
How about showing us the aces and the spades, giving us more options. Exposure is what they call it. Don't just expose us to what you think we can achieve. Better yet, expose us to how to make reality
out of our dreams. You see, the reality is 33% of college students drop out entirely. For me, college is a dream that I would love to achieve and love to reach, but I just don't quite see the vision clearly. How did you do it?
The TCC.
The who?
The TCC Studio is the resource that guides me. If I can do it, why don't you believe?
All right, let's see. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think I believe.
Do you believe?
I do believe I can achieve. Together there are countless possibilities.
Thank you.
Let's give them one more big round of applause. Thank you so much, Seyron and Onesimus. Thank you all for your participation in today's summit. We would especially like to thank the following people. GRCC, can I get some applause? So Misty, Bayard, class, and the chef for the amazing breakfast. Most importantly, a shout out to Shayla's mom for those amazing centerpieces. We would also like to thank the Grand Rapids Public Library, the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, the Meyer Foundation, our higher ed partners, the Weggy Foundation, and you. Thank you for giving your time and talents. So please, one more round of applause or snaps. And don't forget, if you parked at the Grand Rapids Public Library, your parking is complimentary. The exit gate is up, so no need to stop and pay at the payment kiosk. One last thing before all of you exit. For those interested in a student-led tour of the T2C Studio, we have students that are repping a T2C Studio shirt. They will be waiting in the hall to escort you to the 3rd floor of the downtown Grand Rapids Public Library. For everyone else, safe travels to wherever life takes you today.